One, two, ding. Fair. Right. Hello.
It's right, go.
Good. You're right. You're healthy.
I'm not healthy, but you're right.
Moving on. Hello and welcome to the Weekly Drive-In with me, Josh Howie, and Corey Jordan, who's trying not to laugh.
Hello.
This week on Year in Film, we talk about the year 2002.
2002.
Do you want to start us off, mate?
Yeah.
Go on then.
My favourite of the year, 2002, is... Drumroll, please.
No.
Okay. My favourite of 2002 was Gangs of New York.
That was enthusiastic.
End of segment. Okay, yeah.
Don't start a fight with the mic. A fight with the mic.
My favourite of 2002 was Gangs of New York, directed by Martin Scorsese, starring Daniel Day-Lewis, Leonardo DiCaprio, Cameron Diaz. It's not my favourite Scorsese film, but I think just for Daniel Day-Lewis's performance alone, it is amazing. Like, it looks amazing, and it's kind of the film that kind of like proved that Scorsese can kind of move out of modern New York and do a timepiece, and it was really nice. Yeah, it was actually it's really good to watch. The only downside really is, as much as Cameron Diaz tries to sell it, she can't quite pull it off.
No.
But again, I think Daniel Day-Lewis just covers her because he's brilliant in everything. And to be honest, it's odd. Daniel Day-Lewis is like another level of actor. Like, I honestly can't think of an actor who can quite act like he can. Maybe Josh can think of someone, but I personally can't. Leo's pretty solid in it as Amsterdam. I think just in general, I mean, the film's it's about 2 hours 40 minutes, but it's totally worth the watch. And that opening scene in the snow and the blood and the death, that opening scene in the snow is just one of the best Scorsese films. One of the best Scorsese scenes, in my opinion. I just love that opening scene.
That time Liam Neeson starred in a Scorsese film for 5 minutes. Yeah,
that time. Hey, he's in the next one though. I don't know the name of it. I just know he's in the next one. He's been rumoured to anyway.
This probably won't make it to the show.
Yeah, we're just chatting. We're just gossiping. Cute. My letdown of the year. Letdowns. I wasn't really hugely pumped for it, but it was probably I'll just say it was Die Another Day, because I mean, Pierce Brosnan Bond films aren't, in my opinion, great.
GoldenEye was good.
GoldenEye was alright, and like I think they were kind of the franchise was starting to like slip up just a tad, and Die Another Day was just awful. It was just so, like, even the gadgets weren't cool. And it just was so, for a Bond...
It was just ridiculous.
Yeah, it was so just not fun to watch.
His car goes invisible at one point, and he manages to, like, stick it to some fucking ice full pipe or something.
Yeah, it's so stupid. And I don't even think Brosnan cared. You could tell he didn't.
He doesn't care.
I mean, Halle Berry looked pretty nice. But
I don't think so. I don't like Halle Berry at all.
Yeah, well, I do. If you're listening, give us your digits now. But no, yeah, it's just not a good movie.
It's not good.
I'm just gonna say thank God for Casino Royale. Seriously, thank God.
Despite how much I dislike Daniel Craig, Casino Royale's unreal.
Well, I was gonna say thank God for Daniel Craig, but Josh would have gone on a tangent, and I don't like to hear him talk too much.
Maybe he should have tried Inspector.
Yeah, I agree with that. My one there was a lot of recommendations. It was a good year.
It was a good year to play.
But the one I thought maybe people haven't heard of the most is Count of Monte Cristo. It's Guy Pearce, and it's about the Count of Monte Cristo, it's a revenge story basically, and the pace of it at the start is a bit all over the place, but once it sort of kicks in to like this revenge story, it's amazing, and the sword fighting in it is great. Like the sword fights are so fun to watch.
Just well choreographed.
Yeah, it's just brilliant. And the main guy in it, Jim Caviezel, I'll go with that. Sorry if it's wrong.
If you're listening.
Yeah, he was brilliant in it. He was absolutely brilliant in it. I mean, I think a lot of people say his career took a bit of wrong turn when he did Passion of the Christ. But yeah, he's honestly amazing in it, and I just think it's really fun to watch. Like I took me by surprise how much I enjoyed watching it. But yeah, I'll let Josh give me his picks.
I haven't seen that. I'd actually quite like to. What other films, like, roughly is it like? Do you know? What would you say?
It's hard to really say what another film is like. I guess, in a weird way, in a less comedic and stylish way, it's a bit like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right.
Just without Johnny Depp being
Okay.
Johnny Depp. Yeah, that's the only film that literally springs to mind straight away. But it's not like nothing like a comedy at all.
Fair enough. I will give it a watch eventually when I've made it through the box of DVDs that I haven't watched that are in my wardrobe that isn't in my room because it's too small. Right, moving on to mine then. Feel free to butt in whenever you want.
Okay.
This week we watched Bridge of Spies, which is a Steven Spielberg, Tom Hanks film. And my best of 2002 is also a Steven Spielberg, half Tom Hanks film, with Catch Me If You Can, which is one of my favourite films actually ever, really. About the true-ish story of Frank Abagnale Jr., played by Leonardo DiCaprio, who basically forges checks and gets through in life like that, and he does it all when he's like 17 or something, which is ridiculous. It's just really well written, and I imagine most people will have seen it because it is one of those films that if you're of any age really, you should have seen it because it's great. Christopher Walken's amazing in it. He's like sports in it. Tom Hanks is great in it. Well, he's Tom Hanks. Leonardo DiCaprio is great in it. It's one of his better roles, and he's quite. I know it's only 2002, but he looks a lot younger. I mean, he plays a 17-year-old or whatever it was. Yeah, it's just a really well-rounded film and a very clever film, and it's just very good. Martin Sheen's in it. He's good. It's Amy Adams, isn't it? Amy Adams, yeah. She's alright in it. Good. I don't really like Amy Adams. But yeah, it's very good. My worst, or at least biggest letdown of the year. I wasn't particularly expecting much from this film because it's a sequel of a prequel, Star Wars 2, Attack of the Clones. I mean, the thing is, I know everyone hates Phantom Menace because, like, the original trilogy.
I prefer Phantom Menace to this.
I also prefer Phantom Menace to this because of Darth Maul and Liam Neeson, both of whom are not in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Attack of the Clones is basically Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman rolling around in the grass, and then a Colosseum battle, which is actually pretty decent.
Yeah, the thing.
That's like the good bit.
Yeah, I was about to say, literally the one thing for me that is okay is that Colosseum.
Yeah,
bit.
that's good.
But that scene where they're rolling around in the grass, and that other scene where he speaks about sand.
Yeah, all that stuff where they just sort of talk.
Yeah, when they when they use words,
any dialogue.
You don't want to watch it at all. It's dreadful.
It's really bad. Oh no. Yeah, it's not good. Don't watch it. Well, Star Wars is about to come out. You probably watch it.
Yeah,
actually.
There's no point saying don't watch it. You probably have already seen it.
You probably should have already seen it. Should see it just to get context. Thing with the Star Wars thing is, I always suggest to people that they should watch them in the machete order, which is like 4, 5, 2, 3, 6. So you don't actually watch Phantom Menace at all, but Phantom Menace is better than Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, watch Phantom Menace just for Darth Maul.
Yeah, just for that. The fight choreography at the end is really decent.
Yeah,
actually.
I love that.
But yeah, you should definitely watch that. Yeah, the worst film. You definitely watch it. Go on, I dare you. My recommended is actually a Brazilian film, City of God, which was nominated for multiple awards but didn't win any, unfortunately. We'll probably talk about that year one day, and I will profess how it was a snub. It probably was. But yeah, it's basically the true story of a kid who grew up in the slums of Brazil, and essentially to get out of the gang wars and violence, that it's like a very kind of hard to watch, very realistic film. But to get out of this, he basically became a photographer and started taking pictures of the gangs and actually got in with them, sort of thing. And it got him out of that community and out of that area when he could basically get on with his life. And it's a really strong story, especially if you like foreign films, which I personally do. I think that some of them are great. Like, also that came out this year was Hero with a Jet Li film, which is also incredible. But this, it's just a very powerful story told very well. Yeah, I highly recommend it. I think you should really watch it.
Yeah, and for anyone that has watched City of God and does enjoy it, there is a couple of films like both connected, not to City of God, they're connected to each other. It's called Elite Squad and Elite Squad, The Enemy Within. Both Brazilian again, quite done in a similar way to City of God, but it's from the perspective of the police. So yeah, I just want to say, if you watch City of God...
Really?
What?
Really?
Yeah.
I just hadn't heard of these.
Yeah,
so
yeah, no, they're really well done. I mean, if you like City of God, or you planning to watch City of God after this and you enjoy it, I just say, if you're not bothered by the foreign language, then yeah, go watch those as well.
Fair. Oscars?
Oscars.
Do I introduce it?
Yeah, sure. The Oscars we'll be covering are the Oscars of 2003, so only 2002 films that were nominated the year after. We'll start with Best Picture. I know Josh loves this film, and I've personally not seen the whole thing. I've seen
Tragedy.
In fact, I've only seen about 10 minutes of it max, just because my sister was watching it, and I was just like, "Oh, girls." But yeah, it was Chicago. So I'm not going to comment and say that it shouldn't have won, but I mean, there's three other films that I absolutely adore who were nominated. So
just for your benefit, I love Chicago. I think it's one of the best musicals ever portrayed on film. I've seen the stage play, and that's also very good. But I mean, it shouldn't have won Best Picture. I mean, it's probably one of the most acclaimed musicals before Les Mis came out, which is shit. So, but yeah, it shouldn't have beaten Gangs of New York for one.
Yeah,
and
literally the three films are Gangs of New York, Pianist, and Lord of the Rings, Two Towers. Sorry, and obviously, again, I'm not going to comment and say Chicago shouldn't have won until I watch it, but those three are absolutely phenomenal films.
They are incredible.
Like, Lord of the Rings is like obviously one of my favourites, and then Gangs of New York is obviously I picked as my favourite for this year, and Scorsese, love it, and The Pianist would have made it onto my favourite. Probably just got second to Gangs of New York.
Catch Me If You Can wasn't even nominated.
Nope, not at all.
Bit disappointed about that one.
But we're not on snubs, so. Best Director was Roman Polanski for The Pianist. Again, I'm not going to complain about that.
Yeah, well deserved, that one.
Although I would have been happy with Peter Jackson. I mean, he did win the year after for
Return of the King.
Wasn't he?
No.
Was he not?
Peter Jackson wasn't nominated for
I
Best
thought he was
Director.
nominated for all three Lord of the Rings.
No. It was the nominations...
He should have been. There you go. There's another snub.
The nominations were Roman Polanski, who won for The Pianist, Rob Marshall for Chicago, Martin Scorsese for Gangs of New York, Stephen Daldry for The Hours, and Pedro Almodovar.
For Talk to Her.
Yeah. Almodovar.
Well, in that case, then,
Almodovar.
I'm not going to complain about Roman Polanski because The Pianist is the best film I've seen of Roman Polanski's except for Chinatown. So.
Which I still have to watch. I think I got Chinatown off you, actually.
Yeah, because I got 2 copies of it for Christmas.
Yeah, so you gave me one. And I got you Ex Machina, and you haven't.
You've just got to stop bringing that up because you've still got Sleepers.
Yeah, I know, but like I bought you Ex Machina.
Yeah, I know, but
Sleepers was just like...
Sleepers you've had for like 4 years, Josh, when we first started buying DVDs.
It was so long ago.
Yeah, it was.
Moving on.
Best Actor was Adrien Brody.
For The Pianist.
Yeah, for The Pianist. Sorry about that.
You will be.
I was apologising to them, not you. The thing about this is Daniel Day-Lewis's performance in Gangs of New York literally blew me away. This was like I think this was probably the first film I really watched Daniel Day-Lewis in.
Yeah.
And he kind of just blew me away. Adrien Brody is brilliant. I'm not going to take anything away from him. He's amazing, and it was really nice to see because he wasn't hugely known.
No.
And it was nice to see them pick him, and I know he's got quite a famous acceptance speech because he walked up and kissed Halle Berry on the mouth, and he was just so overwhelmed, he was crying his eyes out, so he just grabbed her and kissed her. It's brilliant. But yeah, again, I personally think Daniel Day-Lewis should have won, but then the guys won 3, so he can't get greedy.
Yeah, I don't agree with things like that though. I don't like it when. It's the same we mentioned last week, I think it was, when Al Pacino won, and you were just like, yeah, I don't know why he won. I mean, I think it's just because they kind of thought, well, Al Pacino kind of deserves an Oscar, so we're going to give him one. I don't like when people are like, well, he's had his share, sort of thing.
No, to be fair though, out of the 3 that Daniel Day-Lewis has won, this Gangs of New York was definitely better than Lincoln. I'm not going to take anything again. I'm not going to take anything away from that. He's absolutely amazing in that. But I personally think Gangs of New York is better.
Adrien Brody is one of those actors. I find it weird that he has an Oscar.
Yeah, when I first started getting into the Oscars and knowing a lot about them, I think I went through the list of Best Actor and it just said Adrien Brody, and I was like, really?
Yeah, it's
but then when you watch The Pianist, you realise why he won.
Yeah,
because it's very good, and his performance it's the best film you'll see him in, I guarantee.
It's like in the same sort of thing goes with Best Actress. Like Salma Hayek was nominated that year
For Frida, yeah.
Yeah, that's just kind of odd for me.
Yeah, but yeah, talking of Best Actress, Nicole Kidman won for The Hours. Again, I've not personally seen it. I think I've seen any of it. Have you seen any of it?
I've seen Chicago.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
That Renee Zellweger was nominated for.
Was she good in that? Was she good enough to win that?
No.
No.
I mean, no, she's not. But then again, like we say, we've not seen any of the others. So, going back onto Best Actor, Nicolas Cage was nominated for adaptation where he plays two characters.
Yeah, that's right. But again, if you combine those two characters against Daniel Day-Lewis's and Adrien Brody's, he was nominated. No, I'm glad he was nominated.
I was just bringing it up.
Yeah, I was glad he was nominated, to be fair, because I do love adaptation. I think that performance that he gives is probably better than his Leaving Las Vegas one, where he just plays a drunk guy all the time. But yeah,
I've just read who won Best Supporting Actor. Isn't it good? Chris Cooper. He was good in adaptation.
He is definitely the best in adaptation. Although again, I personally really enjoyed Paul Newman in Road to Perdition.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we were talking about this earlier because obviously we went to see we went to see Bridge of Spies with Tom Hanks in this week, so we were talking about just Tom Hanks films to each other as we do outside of this room, and I was basically just saying how I feel Road to Perdition is quite drawn out and a bit slow. But the performances in it are really good.
Yeah,
they're decent.
See, coming back to this thing where you say you don't like I said, I don't like people who win just because they feel as though they need to give them one. I kind of got that feeling with Paul Newman in '87 when he won for Colour of Money. I mean, it's a follow-up to The Hustler, which he should have won for. He should have won for The Hustler, and it's another Scorsese film. And the film. It's got Tom Cruise and Paul Newman, but Paul Newman's just, he's solid. He was acting for long enough, but it just didn't feel like it was the performance he should have won for. Because I've tried to watch a lot of Paul Newman films over the years because I do love watching him. Films like Cool Hand Luke and obviously The Hustler, and he should have won. They're both better than The Colour of Money. But I'm going off on a tangent, and I apologise. But we'll go to OG screenplay. Supporting actress, Catherine Zeta-Jones in Chicago. I have watched a couple of the others actually.
Meryl Streep for adaptation.
You see, she was quite. I thought she was kind of average. She was just Meryl Streep. Well, she was good, but Meryl Streep's a very talented actress, and I don't think that really pushed the boundaries of what she did. Kathy Bates again was pretty solid in About Schmidt, which obviously Jack Nicholson was also nominated for, I think.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, but. Again, I can't judge because I've not seen Chicago. I
feel like we should have seen The Hours. It's got Ed Harris.
I know
it's
a film.
Moore.
It's a film that sort of whenever I'm on IMDb and it's like films recommended for you and films that just come across. It is one that crops up a lot.
Yeah.
But I've just never really got round to adding it to my watch list or anything like that.
Fair. Chicago got 2 supporting actress nominations, one for Queen Latifah and one for Catherine Zeta-Jones, which they won. It's actually pretty decent. Not bad. Best original. Well, we'll go into the screenplays then. Best original went to Talk to Her, which
the biggest problem I have with the original screenplay is that My Big
Fat Greek Wedding
was nominated, and I get that it's a bit of a sleeper hit and people just love to watch it. Terrible film. It's really not good to watch. I mean, my mum and my sister love it. They're just like, oh yeah, it's funny. I'll just sit down and watch it and with a glass of wine. But it's just I just didn't enjoy it as a film. It's really, and I watched the trailer for the second one and I was just like, bang, brains on wall, messy. Yeah, I didn't really. The trailer just didn't appeal to me, and I just don't think that should have been nominated. It's just an odd nomination. But the adapted screenplay, Pianist should have won.
Pianist did win. Good. Happy. Ow, my arm. Adaptation was up there again with Charlie.
Yeah,
and
I was
Donald
happy that was
Kaufman.
nominated. Yeah,
I just
it makes
really
me laugh
like
that they actually nominated Donald Kaufman when he's not even a real person.
You know?
No.
Right. That's really weird.
It is. It says it in like the IMDb trivia, and then I looked it up again, and then apparently he was just like a made-up character that they thought they'd nominate him for.
That's mental.
Yeah, it's weird. But
why?
can you imagine if you won? Some of the writers must be like,
Charlie would just be like, "Sorry, my twin brother, which I did not conjure, could not be here." Or you'd be like, with me is Donald.
Everyone would be like, is he talking to
Charlie.
himself?
He did write some weird fucking films.
He's a weird guy.
Good times.
Yeah, we'll move on to Snubs. The two big ones for me, really. Obviously, you've mentioned Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
But the other two, really, are, again, Cat and Monte Cristo, which wasn't nominated for anything, but it's so stylish and the way it looks. I would have thought it would have got something like even just art direction or something like that. And then the second one was Born Identity, which was not even
mentioned that.
Yeah, it wasn't nominated for
good film.
anything like. I personally don't think it should have been nominated for Best Picture, even though it did like redefine the action genre. But it wasn't nominated for anything like editing or like sound editing, and it's the kind of film that should have been nominated for that stuff because it's really good.
It's one of those films that like, because it sort of reintroduced like good shaky cam, not like the stuff that's quite heavy around today where they like throw the camera and you can't tell what's going on, but like really well choreographed action from the performances, the stuntmen, and the camera work.
Yeah,
I feel like that should have been mentioned, but it's really not. That's quite upsetting, actually, because that is a very good film, and Matt Damon's incredible at it.
Yeah, it was a really good film.
It was a very good film.
And I mean, even Doug Liman, I think, should have maybe even got a mention as director because obviously, again, like you said, it's a really well-made film and it has redefined action, really. Yeah, those are the big ones for me, I think.
Yeah, Catch Me If You Can was like, I'm fine with only Christopher Walken getting a nomination for Best Supporting Actor.
Although I personally think it's probably one of Leo's better performances.
Oh yeah, I think Leo like could have been nominated. Who else got nominated for? I don't know who he'd replace. I mean,
I personally think
better than Nicolas Cage, but I don't like Nicolas Cage.
I personally would have picked Jack Nicholson in About Schmidt because
I haven't seen it.
It's a good film, and Nicholson's obviously solid in it, but DiCaprio.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of his best films.
Yeah,
I think it should have been nominated for Best Picture or Best Director at least, like one of them.
That's probably the biggest snub, in my opinion. Yeah, but other than that, I mean, even Cat and Monte Cristo, going back to that, I think adapted screenplay would have been quite good because again, it is a brilliant screenplay. Like, I know I'm quite biased towards it.
I'd quite like to watch it.
Just because it took me by surprise of how much I loved it. Like, I bought it because I thought it's cheap and you know it's got good like reviews and that. So now I sat watching it, I was just like, whoa, this film is like amazing. I love this thing. But yeah, sorry,
that's cool. Should we end?
Yeah, of course, mate.
Raddy Rooney. If you like that, listen again. Follow us on all those things like Facebook and Twitter and that. All the links are in the below. They're all in the below. All the
links are in the below.
They're in the description section below. So go on them, like us, subscribe, follow us, all that sort of jazz. Yeah, tell us if we were wrong. We weren't. We were completely correct. But, you know, we'd love to hear you be silly.
I was just typing. I'm really sorry.
It's fine, mate. You type away.
I just realised I didn't put down who I wanted for Blythe. I knew who I wanted in the shower, but then I forgot to put it.
If you want to know what the fuck we're talking about, watch our Dreamcast of The Great Escape, which we're about to record, and then it will be up probably about a day later than this, so do it.
Or I could just cut it out.
Or just cut it out. I'm not going to.
Please do.
Bye.